Hello, welcome everybody. My name's Stevie Kim, and this is the Breakfast of the Champions. Okay, nobody's laughing today. Buongiorno, and welcome to Inside Italian Bubbles. For the next 60 minutes, I'm going to ask you to do something that's not easy. Forget everything you think you know about Italian sparkling wine. You have the list in front of you. How many of you have tasted one or more of these wines before? Raise your hands. Not very many. Okay, so this is a blind tasting. You'll be tasting 6 Italian bubbles, completely blind. This is about letting the wine speak for itself, whether it's from the foothills of Trentino or the volcanic slopes of Sicily. Okay, so get ready to be surprised, challenged, and maybe even a little bit humbled, even for the Italian wine experts sitting in the audience today. So before we start, I'd like to call to the stage Mr. Vattani. So to open today's journey, it's an honor to welcome the person steering Italy's presence at Expo 2025 at Osaka. A diplomat, a cultural advocate, and the visionary behind the Italy Pavilion. Have you guys had a chance to visit the pavilion yet today? Yes? No? Okay, so hopefully you'll get a chance today. So please join me in welcoming Mario Vattani, Italy's General Commissioner at Expo Osaka.
Thank you very much, Stevie. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Italy Pavilion. I didn't see you answer whether you had visited the pavilion
They
yet.
haven't.
They haven't.
Not yet.
But you will after this fantastic event. We're very thankful to ICE, to Verona Fiere, for organizing this. I was really looking forward to this because you see, this pavilion is intended to be an instrument. It's a platform that allows us to present Italy, of course, Italy's culture, of course, Italy's many territories, Italy's very high quality products, Italy's know-how, of course, Italy's technology. You will see this mixed, we hope, through an understandable and enjoyable concept in our pavilion. We decided to choose our answer to the theme of Expo, which is designing future societies for our lives. We decided to answer with the idea that art regenerates life, but we intend art in its most wider sense. Art is, of course, the beaux-arts, the sculpture, paintings that you will see here in this pavilion, also contemporary art, but it is also invention, creativity, technology, engineering. Just behind this wall, we have 2 incredible sketches, engineering sketches by Leonardo da Vinci, coming from Milano. An artist, a scientist, and of course, the symbol of what we call today our know-how, which is made in Italy. We are very honored to have with us today, also online. I know that Matteo Lunelli is joining us, I think, online or by video. But we welcome Nadia Zenato, Diva Moretti Polegato, Giacomo Marzotto, and of course Stefano Bottega. We're very honored because they are representatives of the know-how that we are talking about. Wine, when we talk of wine and when we choose to present wine as a component, a very important component of our culture, this is because wine allows us to talk about history, it allows us to talk about our many regions, as you said before. Italy is very particular because it is long and projected into the Mediterranean. And so there are enormous differences in climate, in earth, in all those components that make wine so beautiful and so enjoyable because it is part of art itself. So you are also artists, and I would say you help us to tell our story. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much, Stevie, for this event. I'm happy to see this room transformed in this way, and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vattani. So I had met Ambassador Vattani actually in Tokyo last year, and we did a blind tasting of the iconic wines of Italy. And I remember meeting him, and he said, "Why don't we do this at Expo?" Right? And this is exactly what we had in mind. So thank you for hosting us today. Next, Matteo Zoppas. Mi mettete okay. So this is Matteo Zoppas. He's the president of Italian Trade Agency. He was supposed to be here today, but he's not here. We have no idea where he is. And ICE is the organizer of this masterclass today. From trade to taste, Italy's economic diplomacy is what connects our wines to new markets. A lot of you here today are buyers from ICE, so you know what that is all about. And representing the institution behind today's event and Italy's global promotion strategy, please welcome not Matteo Zoppas, but somebody else, Amedeo Scalpa. Yes, I know. There's, you see, this is the art of improvisation of Italian wine promotion. So please welcome Amedeo Scalpa, Director of Foreign Network Offices.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Amedeo Zoppas, and I would like to thank you for being here.
He has more hair, by the way.
Apart from joke. No, I didn't start yet the breakfast of champion we are going to drink in a while. I want to thank you, Mario. I want to thank Ambassador Vattani. I had the chance to visit the pavilion yesterday, and it's fantastic. Really, art regenerates life, also through the Italian pavilion here, and we are very glad, together with Verona Fiere, to realize this event here inside the Italian pavilion in Osaka this year. So on behalf of Matteo Zoppas and on behalf of the whole ICE that I have the honor and the privilege to represent here as a coordinator of an Italian trade agency which is spread in almost 100 countries in the world with 87 offices. It's not easy to coordinate 87 offices, but it's quite easy to work with Japan and with my colleague that I'm going to introduce you. Just let me say thanks to the sommelier, importers, buyers, experts that outside Japan accepted our invitation, my invitation. So a special thanks to the delegates today that arrived from Malaysia, from Vietnam, from Thailand, and from Singapore. Grazie per essere venuti, and of course to the Italian producers and to the Japanese friends and partners. But when we in Rome, in the head office, when we say Japan, we do translate Giampaolo. So for us, Japan is Giampaolo, because Giampaolo Bruno is the director of Tokyo office, and please Giampaolo, 2 minutes on stage. Per favore ti lascio il palco per 2 parole di saluto ai tuoi amici giapponesi e poi continuiamo con la masterclass. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, thank you very much indeed for being with us. I won't be too long.
Yes, because then we won't have any time for tasting.
Indeed, because wine is the actor of this event. I would like to thank Verona Fiere, our strategic partner, Kim, for being such a wonderful host today, and thank you to all the importers, distributors, sommelier, and all the actors in the industry for being with us and enjoy your day. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno. So how many of you have been to Vinitaly? Raise your hands. Well, the Italians don't count. Oh, no, can you do that again? Okay, so, but you've heard of Vinitaly, right? Most of you? So Vinitaly is, of course, the largest Italian wine fair happening. It's an annual fair in Verona, and we hope to see many of you. But Vinitaly is just a brand, and the exhibition company that owns the brand is called Verona Fiere. And today, with us, we have the president of Verona Fiere, Federico Bricolo. Can you just stand up for 1 second, even if you're not going to come up to this podium? So the name behind Italy's most important wine fair and a driving force in championing Italian wine across borders. And I have to say, he's been with us for a few years now, and he is absolutely the ultimate advocate behind Vinitaly. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage Adolfo Rebughini. He's the general manager. Next, a leader who ensures that Vinitaly's vision becomes reality, not just in Verona, but on stages around the world. So, Adolfo, take it away.
Good morning, and thanks for being here today. We're trade show organizers who are doing so since 1898. Our most iconic brand is Vinitaly. It is not just the largest Italian show, it's the largest Italian show in the world. And it started in Verona. The last edition, we're running it since 1967, hosted 4,000 exhibitors, but then it grew into a global brand. And we're running Vinitaly spin-off events in 15 countries. We're bringing Vinitaly to Chicago. We did it last year. We're going to be doing it this year as well on October the 5th and the 6th. But our mission goes beyond just being a trade show organizer, because we do training events, and it is our honor to bring education into the wine world in events like this one, especially when we're called to champion the excellence of Italian sparkling wine in all its expressions, being the metodo classico, the classical method, or Charmat. And therefore, we are doing it here now at Expo Osaka, and we will do that also in Chicago in just a few months. So without further ado, let me thank the Italian wine and market makers who are present today. They travel all the way across the world to be here with you and representing the very best and finest Italian wines. And I wish you a very, very interesting day. Thank you so much.
Okay, are you guys ready to start? Okay, so you've seen, I see that most of you have all of your wines already. Take a small sip throughout this entire time. You have the wine list here, right, in front of you, and there's a box, and try to figure out which wine is which, right? Today you'll be tasting 6 sparkling wines from across Italy. In front of you, you'll find the wine list with tasting notes, so you can refer to that, but don't get too comfortable. We won't be pouring the wines in that exact order. Haha. Okay? So what is your task? Your task is to try to match each wine in your glass with the right label, using your senses, your intuition, and of course, the insights from the producers here with us today. Actually, even the producers, they don't know the line, they don't know the list. So you will have to I'll also be testing your blind tasting skills. Nobody knows, not even the president. He was pressuring me, but I said no, okay? So as the wines are poured, feel free to take a small sip, but don't finish your glass, okay? The producers will be sharing clues along the way that might help you connect the dots. And if you have any questions at any point, just raise your hand, and we're here to guide you, not to confuse you, okay? So Marco, we have a free mic, right, on hand? So we're going to start. We're going to start with Ferrari Trento. Return to the mountains of Trentino, home to one of Italy's most awarded Metodo Classico producers. Ferrari Trento stands for elegance, heritage, and Italian excellence on the world stage. So please welcome Matteo Lunelli on video, a leader who has elevated sparkling wine to the podium today, literally. Regia.
Konnichiwa, buongiorno. I hope you will enjoy Expo as much as I did when I was there in April, because Ferrari Trento is the official toast of the Italy Pavilion, and I was there to celebrate the opening. Today, in this blind tasting, you will experience the beauty of the diversity of Italian sparkling wine. And one of the wine you will taste is our Ferrari Homage Trento Doc. I hope you will recognize it because it is an expression of our mountain viticulture. And I hope you will find the freshness and the crispness coming from the mountain air that goes in our vineyards, and at the same time, the beautiful fruity flavor of white peach and apple that our mountain Chardonnay gets from the Mediterranean sun that kiss our vineyard during the summer days. So enjoy the tasting and look for the Ferrari Homage, our Trento Doc Metodo Classico, which is 100% Chardonnay from the mountains of Trentino. Campai!
Okay, so that was our first hint of the first wine, Ferrari Trento, 100% Chardonnay. Okay, keep that in mind as you try to guess which wine is that one. Okay, which number of the wine. You have 6 wines, remember. So then we have another video coming from actually Patrizia Todd, because Alessio is in Osaka, like you were here, but you made that extra effort, so we really appreciate you being here. Alessio could not join us, but he will be doing a tasting, I know, here on the 8th of, I think, at Italy, on the 8th of June, so that's in a few days. From volcanic slopes of Mount Etna comes a truly unexpected sparkling expression. Planeta Wines has long been a symbol of Sicilian innovation, and today's wine proves just how far Italian Metodo Classico can go. So, let's see the video. Regia?
Hi, dear friends in Osaka. Very happy to have our Caricante sparkling from the Etna with you today on tasting. This is exactly the vineyard where it has been produced. It's Sciara Nuova on the north of the Etna. We are between 810 and 900 meters above sea level on the volcano itself. We are picking for this sparkling in mid-September from the same exact vineyard from there. Then 5 weeks later, we are harvesting for the Edizione 60 Caricante, our favorite So it's a brut, it's 4.8 grams of sugar, and medium, it stays on the lees for 20 months. I think that's the most important information technically, and we are just hoping you will enjoy it. So Santé from here, from the vineyard of the sparkling Planeta.
Okay, that was your second wine. How many of you have been to Etna? It's very windy. How many of you have been to Etna? Okay, it's absolutely one of my favorite places of the Italian wine region because of the volcano. Everyone is absolutely obsessed with the volcano. And 2 days ago, there was a huge, huge eruption. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. It's pretty crazy, and that is kind of a death in a bottle. And I think that's why we're also fascinated about that. And Etna was crazy, especially Planeta. Have you seen White Lotus? The HBO series, White Lotus, anybody? Raise your hand if you've seen it. It's pretty funny because this is it's an American series. It was a huge hit, and they filmed the second series in Sicily, actually in Taormina. And there was just one scene of about 5 seconds, and they were presenting the wine at this winery. And Alessio told me the day after, it completely sold out. Right? So this is the winery that they're talking about. It's absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully you get a chance to visit. Now, onto the stage. We have On the furthest left to me, to right to you, is Nadia Zenato. And she brings a fresh perspective from a region more known for still wines. So she wasn't that happy when I asked her to do the sparklers, but this was kind of the theme of today. With a bold take on Lugana as a sparkling expression, she combines family tradition with innovation. Please welcome Nadia Zenato.
Thank you. Thank you, Stevie.
So what I'm going to do is this, because we're all Italians and we're prolific. So I'd like to start asking each producer on stage to briefly, and I underline the word briefly, to introduce yourselves. In just 60 seconds, tell us if you had to describe your winery and your role, like as if you're at a party chatting to a person who knows nothing about wine and your winery, what would you say?
Thank you, Stevie. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nadia Zanato. I'm very proud to be the second generation of my family business. We started in the 1960s, so the founder was my father Sergio, together with my mom Carla. We are located in two important territories. Probably more known is the territory of Valpolicella, where we produce our red wines, in particular the big, the king of Amarone is the king of red wines in the Valpolicella area. So we are in the northeast of Italy, in the Veneto region, close to the city Verona, the city of love, the Romeo and Juliet novel. So, and here my father Sergio invested a lot in the local indigenous grapes, in particular with the Corvina Veronese.
Nadia.
But we are in another important territory that is called Lugana. Also, is the village where I was born. It's called Peschiera del Garda. It's a small village closer to the Lago di Garda, one of the biggest lake in Europe. And here we have more than the total of our hectares is 90 hectares. In Lugana is 50, and the other in Valpolicella. And so my father Sergio believed in the indigenous grapes, in particular with the Lugana grapes. The grapes is called Turbiana. And we invest a lot of, and also we try to be a very real ambassador around the world with Lugana and also with Valpolicella. And the Lugana is one of the first denomination DOC in the 1967 of the Lugana, and is around to south of Lago di Garda to region Lombardy and Veneto. And here we invest a lot we try also to have a lot of experiments also with the university. The soil is very clay soil. And in particular today for me is a big challenge in this particular market of Japan, where we sell also our sparkling wine as the Lugana Metodo Classico.
So Nadia, Lugana is more known obviously for still wines. What made you decide to craft a Metodo Classico version? And what should we give them some hints, what should we be looking for in the glass?
Yes, so I like to tell you a very nice story, because when my father started to produce the Lugana Metodo Classico sparkling wine, it was in the 90 years, and was as an experiment. So he tried to do something different of a normal Lugana that usually is just fermenting in still. And so he tried to find the best quality, but it was not satisfied. So he decided to interrupt this project, and he started again with a vintage 2007. And today I present the Lugana Metodo Classico, where this wine age minimum 36 months. And so the question is interesting, because the Lugana is very minerality wine, is very versatile wine, and also with white flowers. And you can keep and you can taste from our Lugana Metodo Classico. Is very fresh wine with fresh flowers and also minerality wine.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nadia. We're moving on to Diva Moretti Polegato. She is the leading voice in the world of Prosecco. Villa Sandi blends heritage, sustainability, and style, all under the guidance of a remarkable young woman. At the helm, please welcome Diva Moretti Polegato, a young key figure in shaping the future of Italian sparkling wine.
Thank you, Stevie, and good
I'm going to have to
morning.
make you welcome her a little bit more warmly. Let's welcome Diva Moretti Polegato. Oh, la.
Thank
I know.
you,
Everyone's
Steve.
so focused. I can see you're so focused, concentrated, trying to see which wine is which. Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
Diva, your introduction, short.
Short,
Okay.
Good morning. I'm Diva Moretti Polegato. I'm the fourth generation of family business. I was born and raised in the heart of the Prosecco region. We are located in the province of Treviso, so the original area of Prosecco, in the northeastern part of Italy. So we produce mainly Prosecco. For us, represents about 70% of our production. And we cover all the Prosecco appellations, starting from the DOC, which cover the two main regions of Veneto and Friuli Venezia Giulia, moving on to the DOC Treviso, so the original area of Prosecco, where our headquarters, Villa Sandi, is. And then we move on to the two DOCG of Valdobbiadene, almost known as the capital city of Prosecco, and Asolo. And on top of that, we can find the 43 subzone of Valdobbiadene called Rive, and finally, the single vineyard Cartizze, which is at the top of the pyramid. So covering all these appellations, we are able to export our wines in more than 125 countries across the world, being Italy the #1 market for us.
Okay, so Prosecco is often considered easy and approachable, right? What do you think people overlook when they taste it without the context? And today we're tasting your wine, which is extra dry. So can you give us a little bit of hint? You're doing it yourself. How can you recognize your wine in a blind tasting?
So today we are tasting our Prosecco DOC coming from Treviso, from the original area of Prosecco. It's a millesimato, extra dry, which was extra dry being the most popular style in this country. And also in this case, the Prosecco we chose for today is the best seller in Amazon Japan. And giving you some hints about this Prosecco, you will find you're looking for a lot of fruitness, floral aromas, freshness, which are the key characteristics of the Glera grapes. The Glera grapes express its best characteristics when fresh. So you will find some spring flowers, you will find some ripe gold apple, some almond flavors. But most of all, for me, the most important characteristic when tasting a Prosecco or a Charmat method is the tiny and small bubbles, which are an index of high quality, premium style of Prosecco. So easy and approachable are characteristics which are part of the success of Prosecco. And on one side, it's a positive aspect, as is the most consumed sparkling wine in the world. But on the other side, it's also a challenge for us producer to promote this wine and talk about one thing specifically, the link to the territory, which often is secondary. So for me, it's very important to talk about the link of the territory of what we are drinking, which Prosecco we are drinking, and which denomination it comes from. And it's a task that, as producer, the consortium and our importers in Japan are doing every day to talk about the territory of Prosecco.
Do you guys have any questions for Nadia or Diva at the moment to get more hints? I have a question. What about residual sugar?
In this case, we have 15 grams per liter of residual sugar, extra dry style.
Right, so sometimes I think it's confusing because you think extra dry is more dry than brut, right? Because there's extra brut, and extra dry, right?
And dry.
Yeah, so like I think this is something that we need to think about when you're trying to guess which one is her wine. Okay? Okay, on to the next. Stefano Bottega. He's from one of the Italy's most internationally recognized I was going to say Prosecco producer, but that's not you. We're going to move to, actually, Giacomo Marzotto. He represents one of the most iconic names in Italian Metodo Classico. You'll recognize it, right? It has that yellow golden cellophane, right? And I think that was an incredible marketing genius in terms of packaging, known for pioneering excellence in Franciacorta. So we're moving now from Veneto to Lombardia in Franciacorta, and this winery is synonymous with precision, purity, and prestige. It's also called Prestige. Please welcome Giacomo Marzotto.
Thank you, Stevie. Konnichiwa, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Giacomo Marzotto. I'm export director of Erita Marzotto Wine Estate. That is one of the leading family-owned wine group in Italy, comprised of 9 wineries, 8 of which in Italy and 1 in Oregon. But today we're going to focus on Ca del Bosco. Does anybody of you what Ca del Bosco means? Let me share with you. House in the woods. Because actually this project was started by our partner, Maurizio Zanella, one of the leading actors of the so-called Italian Renaissance. And his dream that together with my family that entered in '94 took this house in the woods to be one of the leading Franciacorta winery. A winery that it's very respectful of tradition, like in Japan, but it's also always looking for innovation. So it became one of the most cutting-edge wineries in terms of technology. Today we're going to present our Cuvée Prestige, Edizione 46. So it's the 46th time that we're doing a multi-vintage. Multi-vintage, this is the first hint. So a second hint, it's the blend. It's a blend of 2 white grapes, Chardonnay, Pinot Bianco, and 1 red grapes, Pinot Nero. We're talking about a minimum time of 24 months on the lease. So time is of essence. I leave it back to Kim because I know that we are short in time.
Yeah, actually, we're
And
doing really good.
she was even about to skip me, you know,
Yeah.
so what to say,
I
what
know,
to
you
say.
know, it's like subliminal, you know. So, Giacomo, so can you give us a little bit more markers in terms of what they should be looking for in this blind tasting to identify its unique taste? Like,
Yeah.
if you had also champagne, right? Because we're talking about 2 different methods, right? We're talking about Metodo Classico and Charmant. So obviously, Metodo Classico, that's what you should be thinking about. But compared to, let's say, a champagne, what is the difference?
So it's always difficult, and I feel a need to compare to different denominations, but Cuvée Prestige, it's a very unique representation of Franciacorta. Why? Franciacorta is a very small denomination, only 3,000 hectares, compared to 35,000 hectares of Champagne. And now Ca del Bosco owns and conducts more than 300 hectares. So it's the only winery out of nearly 130 wineries that can able to do a full representation of Franciacorta. One main difference with Champagne is that in Franciacorta we only private producer, so they're not social cooperative. So there is more strive for excellence. Another clear difference it's about, of course, the terroir. For us, it's more morenic, there is more limestone, but important and factual is latitude. We are more south. I can see from my skin, we take more sun. Also, our Chardonnay takes more sun. So this means we have to we put much less sugar. We're talking less than 3 grams. So much less makeup, if you want. So this is definitely a clear characteristic. Other characteristic that differentiate Champagne is also the fact that we are a much more younger denomination, even if there were traces of wine since the Benedict times in Middle Age. But it's started in the 60s, the consortium only in the 90s. So we have much stricter regulations. So for instance, the yield in Franciacorta, it's lower than Champagne. And also time, and once again, time in classical method, its essence. For our, they call non-vintage, we call multi-vintage because we don't like negatives. So for us, it's 18 months. For Champagne, it's 15. But in Ca del Bosco, for our Cuvée Prestige, as said, is minimum 24. I could go on long again with more differences, but once again, I pass the ball to Kim.
Yeah, I think Giacomo, I know I don't want to confuse anybody, but of course he comes from a very large estate holding. And it's now, I just want you to comment about this name change because it's now called Erita, right? And it's from it was ex-Santa Margherita. All right. Can you tell us why you did this?
As simple as this, you know, you cannot have the name of a group as a name of a winery. So it was just to make it a little bit more clear for everybody, but still paying homage once again to the importance of tradition, hence heritage.
Okay, but Santa Margherita. That's what I got.
This is also what it comes.
Okay.
You're telling me this, fantastic.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, now we are going to move on to Stefano Bottega, the last man standing or sitting here. So from Italy's one of Italy's most international recognized Prosecco producers. You know the gold packaging, especially in Asia, and it's very popular, representing Prosecco, if you will, flair and global vision. Please welcome Stefano Bottega.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Stevie. Good morning and welcome. It's a great honor and a true pleasure for me to be here in Osaka and in this prestigious venue on the occasion of the Expo, and to have the opportunity to present to you our Prosecco DOC Treviso Brut Sparkling Wine. Our family has been producing spirits, wine, and sparkling wine for 3 generations. And the most important thing for us is the quality that we achieve through respect for nature, love for the land, a deep passion for our work. Our company is located in Italy, near Conegliano, close to Venice, and our vineyards are in the UNESCO World Heritage Area, on the hills between Conegliano and Valdobbiadene. To create this Prosecco, we follow each step of the production, and starting from the selection of the grapes. The first fermentation takes place in stainless steel tanks, following the addition of selected yeast, and in accordance with the Martinotti method. The second fermentation takes place in pressure tanks with a temperature kept at 14 degrees Celsius, to preserve the fragrance and the typical aromas of the original grape. I hope you enjoy our Prosecco, and I would like to keep to your attention to the fact, the attention that inside every bottle there is not only our wine, but a piece of the history of our family. In other words, every sip is like a journey through the emotion. Thank you.
Okay, so Stefano, so give us a little bit more hints about which wine is yours.
And above all, the quality of the wine, it's fine and persistent perlage.
First of all, it's one of 2 Proseccos, right?
Diciamo, introduce a fresh and delicate and balanced flavor with notes of apple, white peach, acacia, and citrus.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to ask Mihoko Kitsu. Can we have a mic, please? I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay, so Miyoko is also Vinitaly International Academy Italian Wine Ambassador. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Miyoko, can you tell us, give us a little bit, she's also the marketing manager for JET, Japan Europe Trading, and they import both Planeta and Ferrari. So can you tell us a little bit of how can you help them guide which wine is Ferrari and which wine is Planeta? Yeah, stand up, stand up. So which one is Chardonnay and which one is Caricante from Etna?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Mihoko from JET. Well, the Trento DOC is, Ferrari says it's a mountain wine. So you have to see the altitude. So the coolness from the altitude you should feel. So it's like citrus, but very, very high acidity. And I think that's the key to the Ferrari homage. And for the Etna,
Yes.
Caricante, Brut, Planeta. Etna is volcanic soil, so you should feel a stony and smoky taste, and especially after this eruption, maybe you feel more smokiness. But I'm just kidding. Anyway, also it should have a high acidity, but the smokiness and the ripeness that comes from the altitude and the sun, because Sicily is in the middle of the Mediterranean, and so it gets a lot of sun. So I should have to say the characteristic is smokiness and ripeness.
Okay,
from
alrighty.
Etna.
All right, so are you guys ready to play the game? Can we turn on the lights in the audience? Because I might have to call on some people if you don't volunteer. Okay? Would anyone like to guess what the first wine is? Which one is the first wine? Number one, what is the wine? Anybody? Vera Malesani. You are the winner. She's of course, she works for Etika. Where are you based now? In Bangkok. Can you give her the mic? Okay, in your opinion, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Great.
Yes. Your first wine.
I'm lucky, I love bubbles. So
Yes,
I'm
okay.
in my comfort zone.
Okay, so first, number one, what is the wine?
I changed mine a couple of times, so I have to say it's quite smart to pour the wines and then have a chat and then retaste them. Forgive me if I am long, but
No,
it was
it's
a lot
okay.
of
Give me
lot of thoughts.
your
So,
rationale.
my last pick would be Trento.
Okay.
At the beginning, I thought maybe it was Franciacorta because it was very fragrant and crispy. But then when I tried all the other wines and found what eventually I thought was Franciacorta, I think this is kind of, I feel more minerality and a little bit more bitterness kind of in the end.
Okay.
So I thought this is more keen on Trento DOC than Franciacorta, but what I'm sure is a Metodo Classico.
Okay, excellent. So
Now you can fire me.
Yes, okay, so Metodo Classico. How many of you think Vera is correct? Raise your hands. 3, don't be afraid. I mean, you have to do
You
right
blame
or
me,
wrong,
guys, no
okay?
worries.
How many of you think Vera is right, correct? Okay. How many of you think Vera is incorrect? Who thinks she is wrong? Okay, you give him the mic. Oh, no. Okay. What do you think the wine number one is?
I think Trento, Ferrari.
But, okay, so you agree with her, okay? Is there anybody who doesn't agree with her? I will pick up. Yes, the brave gentleman here. Let's give him the mic. Tell us why you don't agree and what you think the first wine is. Go ahead. Il signore con gli occhiali. Yeah, hold on one second.
僕が思ったのは、はっきりと、メトロクラシコっていうのはちゃんと感じたんですけれども、多分山のワインかなというふうに思ったんですが、ずっと飲み進んでいくと、辛口で、かなり辛口であるっていうことを感じたんですが、ドライっていうところを考えると、プラスあとは複雑味っていうところを考えると、僕はゼナート、ルガーナの
Okay. So he thinks basically, my Japanese is excellent, so he thinks it's Lugana. He thinks it's Lugana. Okay. What about the brave producers here? Do you agree with Vera? Yes or no? Yeah.
Corta.
You think it's Francia?
No, sorry, Ferrari.
Ferrari. You all think it's Ferrari?
Yeah, yes.
I
Okay.
think so.
Wine number 2. Okay. Look at me in the eyes. I know you're all scared now. This is just a game, okay? It's just a game. Who wants to talk about wine number 2?
Fai tante cieche?
Andrea Marin.
Sì,
Give him the
capita.
mic.
A Londra c'è 67 polmoni.
He's in charge of the pavilion here. He's in charge of this pavilion, except the agenda of Ambassador Vattani. Okay, Andrea, just give it a shot. It's just a game. Wine number 2. What do you think it is?
I think that is a traditional method,
Excellent.
and I don't know. Ferrari is our toast, so I try a lot of times. I don't think that is
Yeah,
Ferrari.
you don't think it's Ferrari. What do you think it is?
I'm not sure between Zenato and Planeta.
Between Zenato and Planeta. Thank you very much, Andrea. Jessica Tan. Hello. Okay, you knew I was going to call you, right? So what do you think? Okay, so she's our Italian wine ambassador from Singapore. Okay, Jessica, tell us what you think the wine is. Number 2.
Because I had a lot of like tropical fruits and green apples, plus the acid's really high, my guess was in Caricante.
You think it's Caricante?
Yeah, because
okay.
Caricante has the high acid, it has good minerals, the volcanic soil, and the wind. So slight salinity too. So.
Do you all agree it was Caricante? What about here, up on stage?
Maybe Lugana.
Maybe Lugana. Okay. Anybody else? So now
Stevie,
we're between Caricante.
It's quite difficult maybe because Lugana is not so famous, So maybe here in Japan we
But do you think number 2 is Lugana?
Yes, Lugana.
You think it's Lugana? Okay. Okay. You all think it's Lugana? Show your hands if you think it's Lugana. Okay. Already. Okay. Wine number 3. Wine number 3. I need a volunteer or I would randomly. Yes, a brave soul. Can you introduce yourself also, who you are, where you're coming from?
Hello. I am Sriya Wongputhon from Bangkok, from the wine list. So wine number 3, I think it's a Bottega because the color is like a pale yellow and the bubble is like very fresh and yeah, it's not too, how to say, like, it's not too high acid. Then I think it's brut.
Okay.
And I take the floral, and I think it's like Bottega.
Have you had his wine before? Why don't you think it's Villasandi?
Because like, which one? Villasandi?
Which is also Prosecco, extra dry. Why don't you think it's extra dry?
Because like the Villasandi is extra dry.
Right.
Yeah, but I think this one is brut.
Okay, so it's not as sweet as extra dry.
Yes.
Okay, so that's something that everyone needs to understand, right? The residuals sugar. Okay, very good. Anybody else for a guess for the third wine? Wine number 3? What about here? Well, Stefano, is this your wine?
I think it's yes.
He thinks this is wine.
I think
Not
so.
sure. You see, it's
I
not
think-
so easy.
I think-
Not 100% sure, but he thinks it's his wine. Okay? I might have to fire you if you're not right. Okay. Alrighty. Wine number 4. Any volunteers? Everyone is looking down. Okay, so I will have to pick somebody. Somebody from the last row. Any volunteers? Dai il microfono a qualcuno che non ha le cuffie. Okay. Yes, please introduce yourself. You look Italian, so
Hello.
you better get this
yeah,
right.
I am. But
Okay,
I'm
so-
coming from Vietnam, working for a wine cellar.
What is your name, sir?
Giulio.
Okay, Giulio.
Nice to meet you.
What is wine number 4?
So I thought was a traditional method, and I was thinking what could have been Caricante, but yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah, my guess was Planeta Sicily Caricante.
Okay,
brutto
Planeta.
classico.
Anybody else? Anybody else? What about from the producer? Wine number 4.
Maybe not.
Maybe what?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not Caricante.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a blend of 3 different grapes.
Okay, so
Maybe have very little sugar.
okay, so
Maybe
it's
it's
a
the
hint.
expression of 2021.
Okay, so
vintage.
maybe, yeah, maybe,
Maybe.
maybe, it may be Cadel Bosco, right? Okay.
How did you guess?
I know.
Oh my
it's,
God, you must be a master of wine, huh?
I have, a crystal ball. Okay. All right. Wine number 5. Who wants to take a stab at wine number 5? Jessica? Wine number 5, you think it's Ferrari Trento? Okay, and why? Tell us why.
Because it has really full red florals and at the same time lemon zest. It's really clean on the palate too, and it has really high acid. So to me, plus a touch of minerality was synonymous with Trento.
Okay, just screaming Ferrari Trento here. Okay, so what about the producer panel up here? What do you think? Wine number 4. Anybody?
Five.
Oh, sorry, 5.
For me, it's expression of Sicily.
Okay.
So, not north.
So
south,
it's warm.
South.
It's warmer. So it's
It's warmer,
Caricante.
yes.
Okay. Anybody else want to take a stab?
We were on the
Discussing.
same
What were
wavelength.
you-
We
yeah.
were in a similar wavelength, but of course it's a blind tasting, so
Blind tasting is tougher than you think, right?
much tougher.
Yeah,
You know,
because when you see the label,
At
you
some point, I had second thoughts because the lady there, made me my taste bud rethink. So
Miyoko, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Miyoko. Huh?
Okay.
Arigato.
So, what was your guess?
So initially, my guess was Sicily, and now I'm doubting myself.
So what can it be?
Trento, maybe.
Maybe Trento?
Yes.
Okay.
So you change your opinion now?
I say maybe. I'm.
Yes.
in
Okay.
doubt.
Very wishy-washy. Very typical of Italians.
Can I talk?
They can never decide. Okay. All right. Wine number 6. The
one
final.
second.
Oh, I'm
Stevie.
sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hi, my name
Can you
is
introduce yourself?
my name is Hazuki Fuji. I work at Tribond Trading. We import Zenato wine of Zenato, and my opinion is different of her.
Okay.
Of her. I think number 5 is Zenato.
Okay. You think number 5 is Zenato. You're familiar with it, and you think it has more characteristics.
Okay, thank you.
Too bad the wine producer don't think it, right?
Sorry.
She thinks it's Caricante. We'll see about that, okay?
Can I continue import your wine?
Even if you're wrong, you can continue to import our wine.
Thank you so much.
This is just a game, okay? So, and Alrighty. Anybody else has a question or a comment about the wines before we reveal? Okay, so I'm going to now put them on the spot, completely on the spot.
There is the last wine.
The last one.
Last
Okay,
but not least.
Yes, last one,
Stevie.
number 6. Let's start with one from the panel. Diva, number 6, what wine is this?
I think, but I'm not sure, that it's Villa Sandi Prosecco Extra Dry.
I mean, if she doesn't know, I don't know, you guys. This is proof that
At this
wine
point-
Stevie
tastes...
was a random pick, to
Yeah.
ask Diva. Was
Yes.
totally random.
Okay. You think it's Villa Sandi. Why?
Because of the freshness, the color in the glass, the tiny and small bubbles, the persistent perlage, the fruitness aroma, and then the sugar content.
Okay. I mean, I would say, the first thing you guys have to do, right? When you go to a party, you have a wine dinner, right? The first thing you need to understand, very easy, is to understand, is it produced by a Charmant method or tradizionale, right? The classico. And that's a very separation. We have 2 wines from Prosecco, Charmant, and that it's a decision tree. You have to think about, the first thing you have to think about is the method. How is it produced? And then the other part is harder. I personally think it's easier with Prosecco because one is extra dry. That's my personal opinion. Okay? The Metodo Classico, as you've seen, it's tougher. It's a lot tougher. Okay? So are you guys ready? Drum roll. Okay. I want you guys to fill out the number in the box in case you got them all right. Okay? Then I have a prize for you. We're going to give you some wine, some books, and other stuff. Okay?
Goodies.
All right. So, wine number 1. Are you guys ready? And don't write the numbers now. That's called cheating, especially the Italians in the room. Okay? Wine number 1, Ferrari Trento.
Quindi avevamo ragione.
Avevamo ragione.
Bisogna sempre
Always stick to the first
Sì.
call.
Yeah,
Always
even you
stick to
got
the
it,
first call.
Lebughini.
L'avevi
Okay.
detto?
Andrea, you were close. Okay? No cigar, but close. Okay. All righty. Wine number 2.
Renato.
What do you guys think? Huh? Lugana, Caricante. And Caricante wins! Planeta! Wine number 2. Okay, did you guys get that right?
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of. Okay. Sort of doesn't count, by the way. Okay.
Sì, aveva-
Wine number 3. What was wine number 3? I think that was pretty easy, right? Bottega. Right? Bottega. Okay, you guys, most of you shouldn't have gotten Prosecco right. Okay. Wine number 4. Yeah, because, of course, he actually recognized his wine. So, which was very good, and he gave you all the hints that you needed. Wine number 5. Zenato. It was Zenato, wine number 5. But so you can understand, even if you make your wine, it is not easy because there's so many different Metodo Classico and Champagne that it's not easy. Okay? Right? It is not easy. And of course, and then the last wine was Villa Sandi. How many of you got all of them correct? Raise your hand if you got all of them correct.
Brava.
2 people, come up here. Bring your sheet. I want to see your sheet. Come up here, come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Come here. Gli diamo anche i vini. Ok. Portare I vini ai
È la
produttori.
mia venditrice.
So we're going to give you as the winner. So in the gift bag you have some books, right? You guys come here. Congratulations. Let me see. I have to check. Okay. Let me see. And where? Huh? Yeah.
La gente pensa che nel mondo del vino.
Yes, correct. I bona fide.
Brava,
What is your name?
Duale.
Haziki. And what do you do?
Io 2 settimane che sono in giro.
Oh, tree bond. Oh,
my-
yeah, you're
yes.
the Zenato lady. Okay. Alrighty, here you go. Congratulations. You have a lot to study for
che bello.
Vinitaly International. Come here, we're going to do a group photo together. Go over there.
Brava.
Congratulations.
Stevie,
Let's
I do a picture
let's
together.
get I need to check because I'm Korean. I don't trust people. Okay.
We do a picture together.
Okay, and yes, bona fide. Congratulations. What's your name,
Posso
sir?
chiedere anche col mio?
Thomas. Oh no, you're the Malaysian dude. Oh, okay, okay. He's the first Malaysian sommelier. Congratulations. This is our book. In your gift bag, there's also a smaller version of this for lay people. Here we go. Congratulations. And let's, dove sono I bottiglie?
Qui.
Okay, so you guys hold your bottles with the producers and the awardees. And, you know, I just want to tell you that it is not easy. It's a wrap for our bubbly blind date. No labels, no hype, just you, your palate, and 6 Italian sparklers trying to win you over. Maybe you guessed right, maybe not. It was a game. Okay, but this, I hope you go away
Nobody's doing
with
the photo.
some notion how to
Congratulations.
differentiate the different sparklers, and it is not easy. So,
perfetto.
Italian wine bubbles are not just Prosecco, as you've seen, and it is not easy, but I just want you guys to have fun. And come back to Vinitaly in Verona, especially if you're trade professionals. We have members here from the Italian Trade Agency, and we have the general manager as the president of Verona Fiere. And thank you, ITA-Italian Trade Agency, for organizing this sparkling event. Thank you all very much. Chin chin and arrivederci.
Okay.
Arigato.
Arigato gozaimasu.
And we finished almost on time. Okay. All right. Well, good. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Congratulations. Tutto okay. Grazie, grazie mille. Grazie mille. You're good. Very good. You should do the course. You are really good.